Okay, so this is video 6 in our series on how to promote and release your music. In the previous videos, we've talked about setting your objective, we looked at branding, your story, and in the last video, we talked about your target audience. This video is about social media, and for a lot of us, social media can be a bit of a love-hate relationship. Therefore, what I would suggest to you is to actually look at social media in a slightly different way and look at it as a free marketing tool that you can control and that you can use to promote your music. Now, what I wouldn't suggest is you hit every single social media channel that you can possibly get your hands on. Again, in terms of your time and your financial resources, chances are you're a bit limited. So again, we would suggest defining it, picking a few and putting all your energies into those. So which ones do you pick? Well, again, if we go back to the previous video and your target audience, that kind of dictates what you should be looking at. So if you think your audience is younger, then you need to be thinking TikTok and Instagram. And if you think your audience is older, then you need to be thinking Instagram and Facebook. On top of that, we would also suggest considering YouTube. And the advantage of YouTube is that the content that you create across those three platforms that we've listed can all be interchanged and used across them all. And YouTube, if you get 1,000 subscribers and I think it's 4,000 watch hours, you can then start making revenue from your videos, which could be really useful revenue for future releases, future ad campaigns, whatever it may be. Now, the other thing I would say is that your streaming service that you choose to focus on should also be considered as a marketing tool or a social media channel. And the reason I say that is because ultimately, as an artist starting out, you are not likely to make very much money from your streaming services. As you've all heard, the negative talk around Spotify in particular is you get a fraction of a penny per play. And whilst that is disappointing as a label owner, I know that disappointment, it is just a reality at the moment. It doesn't mean we should accept it long term, but it is the reality at the moment. And therefore you need to be saying to yourself, okay, I'm not going to be earning money from this, but actually it's an important tool for me to grow an audience on. And the one I would suggest everyone focuses on is in Spotify. And the reason I suggest that is not only is Spotify perhaps it is the biggest of the streaming services, it's also the best setup for artists with Spotify for Artists, which you should sign up for. But also I know that promoters and managers and agents will certainly pay attention to your numbers on Spotify, particularly if you're getting plays from good countries and you've got good numbers of plays and good numbers of followers. Plus you can put merch on there and you can also have your gig list. So it's a really good tool to grow and build an audience and also present yourself to potential future labels, to promoters, to managers, to agents. So the key thing is, whilst the streaming service earnings can be disappointing, it really is more of another marketing tool or social media channel. So on top of all of that, we'd also suggest, which isn't social media, you do need a web page. It doesn't need to be elaborate, it can be a single page. And that would be particularly important when it comes to running ads. And it's also very useful for collecting emails, which is another way of engaging with your audience, something we'd recommend and perhaps we'll talk about in a future video. Right, so that's social media. And in the next video, we're going to be focusing on the visual content that you should be presenting when promoting and releasing your music.